Callers, rejoice. Next time somebody calls you lazy, look them dead in the grill and say, son, I'm training to be a professional athlete.
Huh?
And don't bust out laughing when you say it. As our week-long, stop laughing, Mo. As our week-long series on video games continues, know this: Arizona Cardinal QB Josh McCown used PlayStation to learn all his team's plays his rookie season. And as Marlo Klein reports, in the world of auto racing, drivers who don't use video games are the exception.
Teammates Dale Earnhardt Jr. and Martin Truex Jr. share a passion for racing and racing video games. The opportunity to combine the two came in late April during a Busch Series race at Talladega. While under caution, Earnhardt called Truex on the radio and decided to put their video game strategy to a real-life test.
There's this track we race on. It's a Talladega. It's a modified Talladega track where the high lane has more grip than a low lane, and the high lane usually is the fastest way around. So we were joking around under caution that we were going to go to the high lane.
Tell Bart, it's like Talladega BR, and he'll know what I'm talking about. Talladega BR.
In the video game, me and him race against each other all the time, and we always work together at the restrictor plate tracks. And so, you know, we were just trying to figure out how we would work together.
Joey told him Talladega BR, and he said, "Hell yeah!"
It was pretty obvious when he said it what he was going to do, what he wanted to try to do, and you know, we've done it a million times on the game, and figured we might as well try it on the racetrack, I guess, and it worked out really good.
Martin Truex Jr. gets the win.
Just how real the tracks on video games have become has created a video version of Cliff Notes for many professional drivers to study before each race. It's all about look and feel, graphics and wheel response so lifelike that games are used as training tools.
I'll start 2 or 3 weeks in advance for Sears Point and just play it over and over and over again and just get used to my eyes looking for the next corner, my eyes looking up, looking down, things like that, because elevation change is big in Sears Point.
I mean, it's to the T. Every inch of the racetrack, the banking, the bumps, the grip, everything. The physics of driving the car in the game are identical.
Earnhardt Jr. says he became a believer in 1997, prior to his first race at Watkins Glen, a road course he was unfamiliar with.
I played on the game for about 2 weeks before that, and all the shift points were exact within 50 feet of where they are on the racetrack. So, I mean, how can you complain, or how could you say that wouldn't be a help?
IndyCar's 2003 Rookie of the Year, Dan Weldon, used video games to help his transition to the IRL.
I'd never been to Richmond before. There was an open test at Richmond shortly before the race, and we had a technical difficulty with the car, and it meant that I only was able to do 5 laps at that particular track, and then it was going into the race weekend. So for me, it was pretty good to get on and play Richmond as much as I could, because, I mean, the radius of the corners on the computer are exactly the same as they are on the actual track itself.
Back when we had just Atari or something like that, we didn't have no racing games, anything like this, so we couldn't go actually run the track a few times before we go there in our race car. I think that's an advantage for rookies now.
What we get out of video games, aside from learning the racetracks, is it's hand-eye coordination, and you know, when your reflexes are sharp like that, you know, it helps you a lot in the race car.
NHRA drag racer Ron Capps believes that video games heighten his senses in a sport where reaction is everything. Capps became interested in the games as simulators in 1996 when he read that Formula One driver Jacques Villeneuve used a game to help capture the pole at the Belgian Grand Prix. Thanks to a bachelor's degree in software engineering, Capps has helped design his own simulator.
You take a hockey player, for instance, I don't think that they can actually play the game and maybe learn how to hit a better slap shot or something. But when you take that a step further and you make it so it's actually a tool and you can use it to make yourself better, it's virtual reality at its best. When I'm in a funny car and I'm going 0 to 325 miles per hour in 4 seconds, I don't have a whole lot of time to react. If something goes wrong, I better do the right thing. And that's where I think the video games have helped me.
Another way the games can help is as a substitute for on-track testing, which is expensive and limited by sanctioning bodies.
Any motorsport's going to be expensive, I mean, for somebody to go test. But for drag racing and the car you see behind me, it's minimal $5,000 to make one run at 4 seconds. And that's if the thing doesn't blow up or catch fire like they seem to do a lot. Without a doubt, the simulator that I use not only saves money for the sponsor and the owner, but it really helps me as far as experience.
Perhaps the driver with the most to gain from playing video games is NASCAR's Jerry Nadeau. He built a simulator in his shop to aid his rehabilitation after a near-fatal crash in Richmond a year ago.
Before, I'd run 5 minutes and it's like I was mentally drained. And, now I can I can do a 200-lap race and it's not that hard. I can imagine being in a real car. I mean, it's very tough and there's so much demand on the driver at the racetrack that, I think it would be hard for me right now to go out there in real life and do it. But I think the video game definitely helps.
Yeah, a lot of people, I guess, would think it's pretty crazy that we take it that serious, and we really feel that you can use a lot of things we learn in that game on the real racetrack.
For the athletes now, there's a point where not only are you in the game, but you can use it. So it's gone beyond just being a thing you pick up for fun.
Marlo, thank you very much. Tomorrow on SportsCenter, we will take a look at some of the controversial content in today's video games. And then Thursday, our series concludes with an in-depth look at how much impact athletes and coaches have on the design of the games that you play.